Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kasey.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're doing 7 common questions we get as a couple. So, number 7, what is your biggest pet peeve about each other? And just so you know, Andrea and I haven't really gone over these questions yet, so these will be raw answers from each other. My biggest pet peeve about Andrea is probably has to do with the cat. The cat was not, it came with the relationship. I'm not a huge cat person. But
came with the relationship. Okay.
But Andrea has a really bad habit of waking, like I can sleep through the cat being loud at night or whatever, but when he's hungry or something, Andrea can't, and so she wakes me up she wakes up and then wakes me up so that I can go feed the cat. And so I feel that sometimes it's a bit unfair about how much I take care of him at night compared to how much she takes care of him at night.
He's that nice, okay? And it doesn't happen all the time, but yes, I go, can you go feed Jackie?
Babe, no, babe, the cat. Babe.
Go feed the cat.
Babe, the cat.
All right,
the cat.
They get it. Mine, if I had to think about Kasey, it's honestly, and he knows this, when I find his underwear in his shorts on the floor, especially the bathroom or by his nightstand on the bed. And
sometimes I'm saving them for later.
And yeah, and then he says, oh, those are not dirty, but they're like bunched up on the corner, and I'm like, Kasey, how many times have I told you? Or what is this doing here? Or I just have to point and I go,
whatever.
Number 6. I get this question a lot too when I've been, maybe when I'm not with Kasey, and sometimes even when we're together, people ask me how much I have to help Kasey, or if I have to help Kasey.
Like, does she have to? Absolutely not. Because if Andrea wasn't here and I was living on my own, I would be perfectly fine to do probably 95% of the things I do. Like, there's certain things that if she's not around, either I do have to, sometimes I'll wait out of convenience, mainly, and that has to do with like getting stuff down like out of a high cupboard or something. If I would need to do that, and I was on my own, I would either 1, have it arranged differently, or 2, like use a grabber or something like that.
Or call a random neighbor.
Yeah.
Hey. The other day, with this table,
she was like out of town, and I needed to get something set up.
But that was just really funny and a little weird. But he said he scouted out on the hallway in the apartment.
Very nice neighbors. I wasn't scouting.
But let me tell them what happened. This table that you're seeing has expandable. What do you call it? Like
leaves,
it expands leaves. Yes. And so, because we don't use them often unless we're having people over for dinner, I store those on top of our stackable washer and dryer. I can get on a chair, get them down on my own.
So she can't even get them down unless she stands on a chair.
Right,
so.
And I'm really short anyway. But we were having people over. I was coming from work, and he was getting everything ready. And all of a sudden, I come in, and the table is extended with both leaves, and I'm like, how did you get that down? Did you scuff him up? And I'm like already like thinking, did you damage the walls? And he said, the neighbor helped me. I'm like, what neighbor? Because we don't really have a lot of friend neighbors.
Yeah, we don't know. I would say we don't know any of our neighbors by name.
Yeah, we say hi to them at the elevator, but that was just really funny because I was like, what neighbor? Who did you let into the house, and were they okay with this? So
I can get my chair in and out of the car on my own. However, out of convenience and just speed, because Andrea doesn't like to always wait around, because it does take me, admittedly, longer to take my chair apart, load it into the back seat. A lot of times she will just pick it up and throw it in the trunk of my SUV, because we don't have to take it apart when she does that. So, like again, not needed, but out of convenience, a lot of times she just does, which I guess I can see for people in the public could be confusing, because they might perceive that as her needing to take care of me, but in reality, it's not like that at all.
Kasey does everything independently. Like he said, I just came back from a 2-week work out of town, and he can do laundry, groceries, drive. There's things I can think of besides picking up things up top. People have questions, and maybe they have these questions like, do I have to help him get dressed? No. Shower? No.
Yeah. Number 5.
What kind of things do we have to spend on because of Kasey's disability? So, I mean,
Well, the biggest and obvious one is the wheelchair. I do have insurance, and thankfully, and we're blessed with really good insurance, but it still doesn't cover it 100%. Typically, an insurance company will cover a new day chair about every 5 years. So that's about how often we get them, unless I switch insurances. Sometimes I can get them more often, but it's not like I go around switching insurance just to get a new chair sooner. So we do kind of have to, as that comes closer, that 5-year mark, or it's time to get a new chair, we do have to kind of work that into our budget.
Things that I can think of wheelchair related, spare wheels, spare tires, casters. As you may have seen some of the videos, if you haven't, we'll link them on a card showing up here. But Kasey does all of his maintenance. If there's anything that's complicated he'll try to go to his dad first, or he's pretty handy too. But my entire time that I've been with Kasey, and that has been about 9 or 10 years now, approximating, together, married for 5, he has done everything himself. Like, he will fix anything.
And I just do that because, yes, there is a company nearby here that does like wheelchair maintenance, and you can run your insurance through it, but still there's going to be a copay. And so if I can only have to pay for my parts or pay for part of my parts, because a lot of times I'll order my parts through that company, and I pay the copay on it because insurance will kick in some, and then I can do all the work on my own, and then I don't have to pay for that out of pocket, or have it go when I didn't have as good insurance and we were trying to meet a deductible, I can use it for something else. So
a lot of it is because he's a very hands-on guy. He can do it, and we are frugal. We try to take care of our money, and that's part of it. He's been very creative with things like you take it to the bike shop just a few blocks away.
It's usually pretty cheap.
And they're more than willing and happy to do it. Other things I can think of, equipment-wise, we've just bought the freewheel. That, like Kasey mentioned, it was around $500. We used our health savings account to pay for that. Other than that, medically, yearly, Kasey just has yearly. Or how many times do you go to the urologist, for example?
I go to the urologist usually twice a year. I do like bladder Botox injections.
We can talk about it in a different video.
Yeah, we'll talk more about like.
Let us know if that's something you're interested in. Yeah.
And that comes with a cost too. And all these things you think they would add up or detract from our life, but really you just have to get used to it, and you plan it into your budget, and it's fine. There are things I get for my chair that aren't necessarily, or for my daily life kind of thing, that aren't necessarily covered by insurance. But like just how if you wanted to have a new pair of shoes or something like that, and I get rear wheel sets for specific situations, and they cost me a little bit more money, but those things will allow me to do more in the long run, and I consider it an investment, and you make some sacrifice for it, but that's kind of like the way life goes, no matter when you're a chair or not in a chair. So 4. What's the weirdest situation we have encountered as a couple?
We may have different ones. Which one's the one for you?
I've had this happen with Andrea and without Andrea, and I'm not sure why it happens. Like, I'm a Christian and I have faith and whatnot. Sometimes people come across as I think I need like an extra dose of Jesus, like we'll be in public sometimes, and like I've had people almost push Andrea physically out of the way to like hand me a pamphlet and ask me, do you know Jesus? And they'll give me, and I understand it's probably coming from a good place in someone's heart, and I don't have an issue with that, but like I'm not sure why exactly they feel that I would need to make sure that I know Jesus, but not necessarily Andrea.
Right. I mean, the issue that I have with it, I guess, is that the exclusion and the stereotype maybe that you feel with that. I don't know. If you guys have any idea why people do that, let us know. But in case you said, we're still confused. It's like, why exclude me but include him and not, just spread that out. And the other issue I have with it is the shoving down the throat.
Right.
Kind of.
And I think it might have a lot to do with some people's perspective that somehow my life is so much worse because of the chair. But honestly, God has put me in the chair for a reason and has blessed my life immensely through it. And I wouldn't be where I am today without the experiences and the character that's built going through some of the things I have.
30?
3?
3, yes.
All right. What's the most difficult thing we've dealt with in our relationship so far? Ooh, we're getting serious.
Mm-hmm.
This might actually be the same for both Andrea and I.
Mm-hmm. I can think of. Yeah, thinking of.
But like this past, I don't know why I say like a lot. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. This past, I'm gonna try for like oh my goodness.
What?
I just did it again.
I don't hear it.
Okay. So this past year, I went to the Air Traffic Control Academy, and unfortunately I didn't pass that. And then I had a period of unemployment for like
7 months.
7 months, and that was really hard. Andrea, and it added to that, and that Andrea was working and she was taking care of us financially and stuff, and I was getting unemployment, whatever. But she was in a job that was not healthy for her either, and therefore
picked up a second job.
Yeah, and healthy for our relationship because we were both under a lot of stress. Her from being employed, me from not being employed, and that wore on us greatly because I think we were both so drained from our own separate situations that then when we would try to be a couple or even discuss things, we were always almost on defense, I think, just because
we were always
of how,
so tense.
Yeah. So that was a really hard time for us, but we made it through. I got a great job offer. I'm happily employed now, and things are going really well for us. And I'm glad the year ended the way it did, and we're moving forward into 2019.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with the wheelchair, and this is obviously how we like it. We don't think of the wheelchair like as if the disability has been something part of what's made it hard. Not really. Not at all. So number two. What's the weirdest question we've gotten? The weirdest question, and I think you guys may guess it too. When you see an interabled couple, I guess, people wonder if we can be intimate, and we've gotten that question. Amazingly, should we show him? But all right, stop. So there you go.
I mean, it's just weird because like you wouldn't if you were on a double date with friends that they were new friends, and not that we've had anybody, I don't think.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like that.
That's what I was saying. It doesn't come necessarily from friends. Maybe if I'm talking with my girl friends, it has come up, but maybe if I bring it up. And what's strange is that strangers want to know those questions, and I get it.
I get the curiosity, but for us, Andrea and I, that's our own private business. I mean, logistically, yes, people with paraplegia and other disabilities can be intimate, but we're not going to define that or explain that specifically for us because one, it would not be accurate for you can't everyone, and two, that's none of your business.
It's our business, but he said, I like that answer.
All right, and the last one we get this one quite a bit as well, and it kind of stems from the first one, and that's can we or are we having kids, children's, youngins, kin, offspring.
To answer part of it, I think it's two separate questions. So can we have children, and are we going to have children? I want to answer the are we going to have children first, I guess. Yeah. So what were we going to say?
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was going to say, are we going to have children? We think so. We like kids.
Sometimes.
But
if I could have kids where I could just play with them till I'm done and then send them on their way.
See, and that's just the face and thinking where we're both at right now. Yeah, I don't feel motherly, and I don't feel like it's the right time for us yet. There's other things that we want to do by ourselves, and we know and have seen it from other friends and close family members that kids can change your life. A lot of them are extremely happy, but it's a different lifestyle that we're just not ready for.
Yeah, and no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and so can we though?
Yeah, and I guess. Yeah, I can answer. Can we? Can we? I don't know why I'm talking like this. But can we have kids? So again, this is gonna range widely on the logistics of having kids, depending on your disability and your extent, how high or whatever. So for us, as far as we know right now, I wouldn't be.
Not naturally.
We can't do it naturally. But as far as like we would have to do IVF, in vitro
Fertilization, I think. Yeah.
The V has to stand for something.
I think it's in vitro. In dash vitro. Okay, but this is just to show you how little.
If you know what that really like, what it tell us, please.
We know from other friends, like Kasey has played basketball with, that they have done the in vitro fertilization. We've read some about it. It's very common that paraplegics have to go through some kind of treatment.
Right, and especially spina bifida and with some of the surgeries I've had and stuff. Just talking to my urologist, he's kind of hinted at, more than likely you're gonna have to do IVF. And I had one test.
A while ago?
A while ago.
Yeah.
But we haven't revisited recently, and it's probably something we're going to do here in the next year. Just like Andrea makes a good point that we kind of want to find out the quote logistics of it now when we're not so emotionally tied to the idea, so that if for some reason, whether it's Andrea or me, that would be the quote issue or problem.
Or the infertile. Yeah, because we don't know.
We can then plan accordingly without having so much emotional attachment to it. So.
And we've also have had friends and close coworkers that have adopted, and not necessarily. I'm not talking about all of these people are in wheelchairs. Like we don't know that many people, but we have been sort of exposed through our friends' experiences and talks and everything. People that have adopted, and they are extremely happy. And couples that are now maybe older that didn't want to have kids, or didn't think or choose to do that earlier, and then later have adopted an older kid, and they're so happy. So we're also open to that.
So we're just keeping our options open for now. We'll get more information as we move forward. Like I said, we might do that this year. But
we hope you guys really enjoyed this video. We really like filming this kind of content for you guys. If you have any other questions, comment down below and we can answer those for you guys. Don't forget to give it a like if you liked it and subscribe to our channel to see more content like this. And we'll see you
on the next Adapted Adventures.